Hello everyone, welcome to this awesome webinar, which is dedicated to VPs, ISEX and BD. So here today you will learn about all you need to know after the first meeting with a company. Okay, so if you have a lead, imagine that you just come back from the first meeting that you had, and so what are the next steps you need to do? So just a quick reminder, who am I? So I'm the MCDPD of ISEC France. I'm Amandine and I'm working closely with Nixe on the partnership. I'm responsible for sales in ISEC France. And so Nixe is working with me and we are doing the business meeting together. Okay, so let's start. So just a quick reminder, in the customer flow, when you are in the meeting with a company, you are between the abstraction phase and the consideration phase. It means that you're ready to sign the contract and to make the partnership more concrete. So what is the first step you need to do after your first meeting is a checkpoint. Okay, so even if you think that you totally fucked up the meeting, you need to assess how it was. So what are the criteria in order to assess first meeting? Is to assess the purpose. Was it satisfied? Okay. So have you achieved to present your association, your organization, ISEC? Have you come to a concrete point of collaboration? Have you set the price and agreed, especially on the price? Because this is one of the main breaks for a company. Have you checked the condition of the company, like the environment, the reliability of it? Could you observe all this during the first meeting? And last but not least, have you managed to create a relationship with the lead? This is very important also to take into account. For me and for many sales people, a successful meeting is a meeting where the lead or the customer talks 90% of the time. Coming and just expose and like vomit all your products and explain the whole process. If they don't care, they will not listen to you. So that's why you need to follow a certain theory, which is the SPIN sales. So it stands for situation, problem, implication, need, and payoff. So actually, sales strategy, which is focused on the customer's decision stage, through the art of asking questions. So the focus is on the client all the time. So you need to ask a lot of questions, but not silly questions, but they need to be open. It means that they need to answer with a sentence, like it's not only yes or no, but your lead should be able to explain so that you can have a broad picture of their needs. Okay, so if you're following, if you have any question, you can interact with me on the YouTube link, okay, in the chat. Okay, I'm gonna go on. So after, there is a simple process that I drew in order for you to follow this path easily. So we can say that there are four stages in the follow-up process. The first one is making and going actually to the meeting, then assessing if it was successful, then implement the follow-up actions, and last but not least, taking a decision. Okay, so as I said, with the first stage, you need to assess, make a checkpoint of the meeting, of the success of the meeting. On what does it depend, the success? Well, it doesn't depend only on you, but it also depends on the company. So it's very variable if it's a pull or a push strategy, pull or push approach. Of course, if you go to the company, then there will be, if you approach directly the company, it means that you are interested in them and so they have, like, in the beginning, more power than you. They should take the final decision because before meeting them, you assess that there was an interest in working with them. As follow-up actions after the meeting is always follow-up action, because, as you say in French, on n'est jamais à l'abri d'une bonne surprise. It means that you can always expect a good surprise. Okay? So what you need to do is always have written proof. So sending an email and updating. There are some CRM which is HubSpot that I'm sure that you're already doing it, all of you, without any exception. So just quick reminder about HubSpot. This is our new customer relationship management that replaces Podio and that replaces all the old-fashioned Excel sheets. So basically it summarizes all the interactions you have with the external person, professional interactions. So there you can keep a track of every single interaction, provided that you update it regularly. Then you can also have access to analytics. Then you can ask how is efficient your customer flow, your strategy. For example, if you have a very low conversion rate, if you have a lot of leads but not any single contract signed, it means that you have a problem in the conversion strategy. Okay? So this is very important to sit down and take a time to update the HubSpot and then analyze all the analytics of it. And last but not least, HubSpot is the CRM, so it's something that is present in every single company. If you work in a company, then you will later understand that to take this awesome habit every day to feel a kind of CRM. So you will already take the habit. So for the follow-up actions, you need to do this. When you need to make a follow-up after the first meeting, it's always within 48 hours. A very strict rule that you need to follow, because if you reply after, it's not professional. Okay? And first, it's not professional, but also it will slow down all your process. And if you want to open TNs and that you need like 1 week to reply every mail, it will take you a lot of time, and then you will lose your lead. So in the end, it will be a lose situation for both of you. And then the last stage is about taking a decision. So on what does it depend? On various factors. First of all, access, collaborate together. It will depend on the starting date of the internship. So I'm talking about ICX, but it can also be more. It can also be for BD people. If you need a sponsor or a partner for a certain project, then you will assess if you can partner with a company in function of their availability. Also, it will depend on the size of the company. So this will influence the rapidity of the process. So if it's a startup, usually the process may be really fast. If it's a big company, usually, like, as the structure is big, you will take more time to close the deal. Then it will also depend on you guys, your reactivity, but also the reactivity of the company. So this is very important to set expectations in the beginning and to be clear with the company about the whole process, and to explain clearly responsibilities and what are yours, and how you can work closely around this, how you can have regular touch points. So for taking the decisions about whether you're going to work with them or no, there is no perfect date, okay? So it's not like after 1 week, after 1 month, 2 months. It really depends. For example, if you are working with public institutions, it may take more time. For example, in the MC, it happened to us that we closed deal in like 3 days. It was the fastest, but it can also be longer and also shorter. So next slide. I hope that you're still following, guys, and don't hesitate to write in the chat if you have any questions. So I'm gonna go through the next slide. So let's imagine that you have different scenarios, okay? You have three scenarios about the success of the meeting. So the first one is that you are sure, like 100%, like the company contacted you, they were so interested about you, maybe they have a nice alumni in their company, and so they are really keen of ISEC and they want to work with you because you sold the product so well. So imagine that. What do you need to do? Send an email, updating HubSpot, all this within 48 hours, and then you need to send some content in the email. So what do you need to do? First of all, you need to assess and know exactly what the company wants. Okay, they want to open a TN, but what criteria are important? How are you gonna promote the opportunity and so on? And so you need to make them fill the JD, so the job description form. In the MC, we have a national one. I don't know if you have your own JD form. So you can ask Mr. But this is very important, and you need to know also to check with the company on which criteria you can negotiate. Okay, so you cannot negotiate on languages, for example. You cannot negotiate sometimes on specific experience or background. So you need to be clear about this. The second thing that you will send is a template of the contract. So even if the company is not sure to work with you, you can already send this because you can push the company to work with you because they have something concrete in their hands. Okay, concrete template, contract template with all necessary information. So what are the responsibilities of each party, of each side? What are the rules? And you have to make sure that the contract protects you and doesn't put you in danger or doesn't also what you need to do. The third point that you need to send is the XPPs part, like the charte de programme d'échange, the exchange participant policies. So it's like a huge folder, very, very boring, but very important. So you need to send that to the companies so that they know in case of, I don't know, for example, if they're not satisfied with the EP, they know like there is a process that the company in order to solve the situation. The next point is sending the ISEC portfolio. So we have updated this as well in the drive. So it's a portfolio that explains what is our service, who are we, what is our mission, and then what is our product, and then what is our process and the advantages. So it's very important in terms of content and in terms of design that the portfolio must be really clear, really attractive, appealing, and yeah, and very concise as well. So usually the ISEC portfolio, we send it before the meeting so that the company can have a look at it, can have already a concrete thing. And if whether you have the meeting with the portfolio in their hand or with an iPad or with a sheet of paper, so bring it. It can be helpful for you. But you shouldn't stick to it too much. You know, it's not about explaining an oral presentation of an examination. It's more about having something visual in your hand so that they can rely on you. So that it's more professional. Then let's imagine that you think that the company is not gonna work with you. Well, one thing is that you never, like, you don't have to give up, okay? Um, Even if you have a lot of leads, or even if it's like the 10th company that says you that they don't want to work with you, or that is making you wait, you shouldn't give up. You need always to assess, identify the reason why they don't want to work with you. It's like in a relationship, okay? If you have any boyfriend or girlfriend, you need to assess. You need three criteria to make it work. The first one is the right person, okay? Second one is right place. Second, and third one, right time. The right person, if you find the right partner, the right lead, this person needs to meet your values and your needs. You need to make a fit in this. Then you must be in the right place. So that's why it's important for you to go to their place, to their office, and assess environment. How is their context? You will feel immediately the atmosphere. So that's why it's important to have a face-to-face meeting. And then you also need to approach the partner, the lead, in the right time. If you approach them when they are busy with budgeting or when they don't have any money to invest on HR, it's not the right time. It doesn't mean that you will never work with them. It just means that you need and actually it's even more interesting because if you have more time to source and to find talent, then you know that you're going to be able to match this opportunity. So just don't give up, be patient, but assess. Always identify the reasons. And then also identify typical sentences. By this I mean that the companies are really good at like very polite things in order to make you think that they will work with you, or just because they don't want to be rude. So if they tell you things like, okay, let's keep in touch, or it was a pleasure, come back to me, or let me come back to you in a while, just don't believe them. Just think that they have many things to do. If there is one person who needs to go back to them, is you. So you need to take the lead, keep the control of it, and make the follow-up. And if they don't respond to you, be insistent. Don't hassle them, of course, but be insistent, and communicate regularly with them. If you wait for 1 month that you don't have any interaction 1 month after the meeting, then you completely lose them. And it will put you even more effort to recontact and to reconnect with them. They will not even remember you. Okay? So in terms of content or shape of the email, you always need to, first of all, thank the lead to have welcomed you in their office. Okay? Also, it's necessary you remind who you are and where you met and when. And then show that you are available. Uh, show them that they have the freedom to choose to decide whether they want to work with you or no, but also be firm and be decided, be convincing, okay? Convinced of what you did and convincing. So tell them that you are available to answer the question. If you know why they don't work with you, try to negotiate. Always keep the door open. If you know that it's a very big company, very well known, and that it can bring you a lot of credibility for your LC, just negotiate with them. You can even make discounts, or you can be more flexible on certain criteria, and then it will be a very good GCP, and this partner will attract other partners. Then, if you're not sure about whether the meeting was successful or no, do the same. Think, but okay, show that you are available as well. What you need to do in this case is finding solutions, being proactive. So it's useless to just say thank you, I'm staying in touch, like you can call me whenever you want to. No, they will not, and you will lose your time. So find solutions to the breaks they have, the issues they have, and yeah, just suggest them to negotiate certain things. So let's move on to the next slide. Something that I wanted to attract your attention on is two important notes. One, the KPI, a very important KPI, and second one about the contract. Um, so the KPI, for those who don't know, is key performance indicator. It's an indicator that assesses your performance. Okay. I wanted to draw your attention on the conversion rate. As I said earlier, you can compute it by putting in relation the number of customers you have with the number of leads. It means so you need to know clearly what is a customer, what is the difference between a customer and a lead. A customer is a lead that only becomes a customer once the EP is realized and that the value is delivered. Okay, it's not all to say, okay, I owe you 10 now. They need a lead who signs a contract because there is no payment even. There is no result in this. You have one contract, but you don't have any realization. So you need to go until the end of the service. You need to deliver the service. It means that you need to do all the process of sourcing, from the sourcing to the integration of the EP. It means also IPS, it means lead sessions and all the SNS that you need to deliver. Um, what else? So yeah, you need to compute the conversion rate. It's like an object. You can even ask how they do in object. It's very easy. And like that, you can identify in which step of the process of the customer flow you need to improve. The second point that I wanted to emphasize is the contract. So what is a contract? It's an agreement, okay? It's not something unilateral, it's a bilateral agreement with specific terms between two or more persons or entities promise to do something in return for a valuable benefit known as consideration. So it means that it's something that you wrote together and then you negotiate together and then you agree. It's a long process. Um, ICX contracts are usually very fast to close. But then if it goes about another partnership, it can be the result, the contract can be the result of a long negotiation. So it means that, first of all, there is an engagement. There is a commitment from the moment you sign it, okay? So just don't oversell, don't especially write things that you cannot deliver after. Um, then, yeah, and then it's also about responsibility. Be aware of what you sign. Be aware of what you send them. Okay. Just don't follow any contract that you find on the internet that send you because maybe our policy or process is not aligned with yours. It should be, but we have different processes, we have different forms, etc. So just make sure that the contract is adapted to your LC reality. And then make sure that it protects you. As I said earlier, a contract, if it's not respected and if you don't have a good relationship with the company, you can go on trial. So this is not about the student organization anymore. It's about your responsibility, your professionalism. So Make sure that it protects you, that you can find solution if there is any problem, and make sure that, of course, it respects the law, the global ISEC policies, and also the national law of France. And then the communication with the lead. Okay, so it's not about only sending emails, and because you will see that after a while they will be bored at answering, or they will not have the time, or they will have 100 emails to treat per day. So how to make sure that you can still communicate with those leads? So for you, I draw a table of the advantages and drawbacks of each of the channels. Just think that it's like a common any relationship that you could have with any person. If you only send emails to this person, they will not care. And in the conferences, um, a partnership is not an agreement with a company. Okay, it's an agreement with a company, but behind this company, there are people, there are humans who think like you, and if you have a good relationship with them, they will treat you well and they will be more responsive. So the first channel, communication channel, is the phone. So what are the advantages of it? That you can have a fast answer, you can perceive their reaction. So if you try to negotiate something, it's easier to do it by phone because you know what they will answer to you. You can feel it. What are the drawbacks? Is that it's not always enough. So if the person is busy, that you cannot let a voicemail, or that you can let a voicemail, doesn't mean that they will contact you back. So it's not always sufficient. You need to make a follow-up afterwards. Also, it's not always known. You don't have always the access to her. You need to, sometimes in big structures, you need to talk to 3 people so that they can pass you the right person you want to talk to. And sometimes, even in companies, for example, in banks, there is neither any phone number. So, yeah, but except this, it's very good. A very good communication channel. The last one about the accessibility of the phone is that um, you cannot call anyone you want at any time. If you call 5 times the same person in the same week or in the same 2 weeks, they will get rid of you. If you call the ministry, they will get rid of you. They just answer email. They don't answer phone calls because you're not their priority, of course. So what are the attention points you need to keep in mind for the phone? Is that you need to manage your voice, of course. You need to manage your tone. If you're shaking, if your voice is shaking every time you talk on the phone, it's not really good. Use it. Or, of course, you can learn and you can work on it if you know that you're not very good at it. And you need to be concise. You need to train yourself. You need to pitch, have a pitch in mind. Present yourself, present the company, why you are calling, and then if it's the right person to talk to, what is the purpose? What is your interest in calling? And all those things in less than 2 minutes. So it's a good challenge. So after I'm going to explain what are the advantages and drawbacks of email and face-to-face. But before this, keep in mind that, okay, no, I will tell you after. It's like that there is more systems. So after, the second communication channel is the email. The very important advantage of this is that it's written, okay? So like in French we say les paroles s'envolent, les écrits restent, means that if you forget something, you always have a written spot. And this is very important because you can track everything. You can update it in HubSpot. So if you agree on something, I really recommend you that you write it down by email, even if you agreed that you negotiate on the phone before. Confirm in the email that you agreed on it. Because if it's something like a really hard negotiation point that you're very proud of, you should make sure that it will stay and be agreed. Um, what you need to do, yeah, what you need to watch out into the emails is the spelling. Of course, if you write 10 mistakes in one sentence, it stinks. So spelling also the way you are polite, the way you write, be clear, not too strict. So also make like take some space to put beautiful words and be really polite, like kind regards, was a pleasure meeting you, hope you're fine, etc. Like take the time really to add those information. The last communication channel is the face-to-face. So this is the big advantage of it is the social aspect. Okay. Through the face-to-face meeting, you can create a really personal relationship. You can make the meeting sound natural, like it's a conversation. You can even observe, you can even challenge the company by going to their office. You can observe and feel how their working atmosphere is. You can also observe the body language. This is very important. You can observe the reaction of the lead, and you can also negotiate in the best way. Actually, negotiate. What is what are the drawbacks of face-to-face? Is that of course consuming. Okay, so you will not go every day, every week to the same lead just to ask questions. Of course, you know that. It also consumes like costs some money in terms of transportation, and as I said, in terms of time. Time is money, you know. So um, yeah. So it's everything is logical, but it's not because it's time and money consuming that you shouldn't do it. Of course, sometimes you need to take the space to do it, especially for first take or first meeting, because then you can observe, you can feel if the person in the company is reliable. If you're getting approached, especially in the pool strategy, if you're being approached by startups or this kind of company that you never heard about, that they don't have any website, for example, you need to know them. You need to know if they're reliable, if they can pay you, if they, yeah, if they are reliable. Okay? And then what are the, a lot of points of attention. Okay, let me drink. So the first one is your clothing and appearance. About this, it's very good to be self-confident, to have your own style, to represent ISEC as a student organization, etc. But there is a but. You need to be professional. I'm sorry, but think about the animal, the chameleon, that adapts to its environment. Because you know, for example, in psychology or like in social science, you know that in less than 4 seconds you can know if you're attracted by someone. So let's imagine the professional world. Let's imagine that in less than 4 seconds or in less than 30 seconds, they already have an impression about you. They have already a label for you. So just make sure that you make a good impression. After all, of course, everything is like catchable, like solvable. If you gave a really bad impression, you can work on it. You can even make the meeting successful with a bit of humor, for example. Okay, and then you need to be punctual. So the perfect time to arrive at a meeting is being 15 minutes earlier. Like that, you have a margin. Okay. Now it also depends on every company. In some companies, you need to register, need to have like a control checkpoint, so you will lose maybe 10 minutes. In other companies, like in startups, maybe if you come 15 minutes earlier, they will be super busy, so it's not good for them. So just announce yourself when you go there and be on time, and then they will accept you. And then manage your body language. So manage your body language, of course, is very important as it's the appearance. Make the meeting sound natural. Make natural gestures. Don't don't stress yourself. Keep your eye contact. It's like if you have an oral presentation in front of the classroom. Keep your eye contact. Um, be convincing. Have a good tone of voice. All this is also like is the same for the phone. It's also an oral communication, so you need to be concise, you need to be clear, etc. So now, of course, like all, for example, the watching points, the points of attention, these are guidelines for you to follow them. Now, we are in ISEC. We want you to um, make the best of it. You can make mistakes, but if you do, just correct them. Okay? If you arrive into a meeting, just correct them. Apologize. Think like, yeah. If you arrive in a meeting, actually, it's better if you thank them for waiting for you instead of apologizing. Please, they will accept it better. Now, after that, we saw all those communication channels. Which one are you gonna select or prioritize? Is it the email? Is it the face-to-face? Is it the phone call? So all the secret is about balance. Balance between those three communication channels. Okay? As I said, like in a relationship, don't always communicate with the same channel. There will be words. Surprise them. Give them attention. Give them the feeling that they are important for you, but not too much. Create a special relationship with them so that you have even more pleasure to call them back. You say, hey, how are you? I hope you're fine. It was a pleasure to meet you. It was a pleasure to have this meeting now. As we agreed, let's go on with the process. It's all question of adaptation, as I said, the chameleon, for example. And for this, you need to know your strengths and your weaknesses, of course. So you need to work on your weaknesses, but also exploit your strengths. If you know that you're very good in, if you have really good social skills, just like prioritize the phone and the face-to-face meetings. Adapt also to the context and the purpose. As I said, if the purpose is only a question of clarification about the JD, don't go face-to-face meetings. And of course, in the communication channel, as we go disruptively digital, there is also the Skype, of course, and other parallel communication channels. Adapt, as I said, if you want to see them face to face, but they have like 10 minutes or 15 minutes in front of them, be insisting. Adapt, say them that you can be flexible. You can call them by Skype so that you have already like a natural touch point. And you can even ask them to meet you during one of their coffee breaks. Everyone eats, everyone drinks, so it's a question of survival, so they can do it and surprise them, as I said. Now, to recap a bit, and 3 points of attention that are really important are: what is the right behavior you need to have towards leads and customers? Be proactive and reactive. Proactivity is even better than reactivity. Shows that you are always one step further than them. Surprise them with your proactivity, with the planning that you have. Show them that you know the process. Track them so that it will also speed up the process. Be reactive means also that if they have any questions, if they have any remarks to give you, they can um, contact you whenever they want, and they will have a fast answer. Then don't let them believe you forgot them. This is very, very important. If you have too many leads and that you don't manage the amount, the flow of it, they will not feel important, so they will not want to work with you. Because if you already have a bad test, they will know that the process will be slow, that you will forget them. And the last point, answer in less than 48 hours, as I said, always, always, always. Even if you don't know what to reply. This is something that is usually happening when they have questions, specific questions, you need to make a meeting with your EB or need to check the law, you need to think about it, you don't have any clue about how to solve the situation. Just answer them that you got the message, that look you look up for information, that you will get back to them as soon as possible, or like within a week. It's better to be more concrete so that they can anticipate, they can be more patient, look for other partners. So this was it for today. Actually, the timing, even if we started a bit on delayed, is very efficient. So it was a short but like complete session about the following up process of the partners and the leads. So if you have any questions, just write in the chat, or you can even better send me an email on amandine.richel@itech.net, or you can even look for me in Facebook. I will answer without any problem to all your requests. And I hope that your meeting are happening very good, that you are attracting a lot of leads, that you're convincing a lot of people, and that you are giving a great image of ISEC to the professional world. So I wish you a good luck, and I'm looking forward for your answer, for your questions, and also for meeting you again in the next conference. So good luck and see you soon. Bye bye.